France, Spain, and Italy are under lockdown due to the rampant spread of the coronavirus. Italy had 368 coronavirus-related deaths just yesterday alone. Tematica's research's chief macro strategist, Lenore Hawkins, is currently in Italy and joins us now on the phone. And Lenore, when we look at some of those restrictions being put in place, a lot of people are surprised at how quickly it shifted over there as the seriousness of this, I think, is getting realized. We're seeing that back here in the U.S. as well. What can you tell us about what you're seeing on the ground in Italy as these lockdowns across the country continue?
Well, we had actually some really good news today. The Lombardia region, which is the northern region that was first, the hotbed, and was the first to be locked down, had the smallest jump in new cases since this whole thing began today. So that's some good news. The lockdown is actually working. As far as what it's like here, well, the lockdown just keeps getting tighter and tighter. Like 2 weeks ago, despite the fact that a couple of towns, there's like about 11 towns just south of Milan, and I'm just north of Milan, like 40 minutes north. These towns were about 20 minutes south of Milan. Those were the ones that it first started, and they were originally put on lockdown. While they were on lockdown, if you were in my region, in Lake Como, it would just seem like things were normal, even though I was looking at these numbers thinking, oh, this is not going to be good. Mm-hmm. But if you went into any of the piazzas, people were just behaving as like everything was fine. Even like a week and a half ago, it was like that.
Yeah.
But it all changed like a week ago on Sunday from today.
So, Lenore, you've seen how quickly things escalated over in Italy. I'm curious, as you're there, watching what's playing out here in the U.S., what are you thinking? Are there any parallels that we can draw?
Yes. I'm terrified for what the United States is doing right now. The parallel, unfortunately, is not taking it seriously. While Italy did do a good job in that one region, it was very slow to shut down everything else, and then we paid the price for that. Very quickly, it went from life was normal to hospitals being completely overwhelmed, which is what led to the national shutdown, because they couldn't keep up with the new cases. And when I see images like people at Disney World just yesterday, last night, and there are masses of people all getting together, that just tells me that people are not taking this seriously and do not realize how fast this thing travels. And even if it doesn't hurt you, you're just maybe sick, you can be transmitting it to somebody else who can die from it.
In terms of trying to tie this back to the kind of economic repercussions we've seen in Italy as this lockdown continues, back here in the U.S., we're kind of just getting started in a lot of these measures being put in place. What about the small businesses there and how they're managing these things? Because right now, a lot of questions in the U.S. with what might happen if everything from gyms, movie theaters, restaurants, everything starts to close, the kinds of shocks we might be seeing economically.
Well, if you look at history, the last 4 pandemics all coincided with a recession. We are going to have, I think, no doubt, a global recession. Italy is most likely going to suffer something far worse, a very, very deep recession, because you have every restaurant closed unless they're able to provide some sort of delivery. Every retail shop is closed. Everything is completely shut down. Today, if I walk outside my door, I see police cars driving around with speakers telling people to get back in the house. Everything has just stopped. Can you imagine what it is like trying to make ends meet, trying to pay on your loans when there's absolutely no money coming in the door? And we don't know how long this is going to go on. I think the U.S. is going to face something very similar. One nice thing, though, the banks in the United States are in far better condition than they are here in Italy. Italy's got some of the most vulnerable banks in the world with debt that has already been problematic.
No, it's a very good point, and I think it's a lot of the reason behind why we saw the Fed, again, jump in to make that emergency rate cut just yesterday. But for now, Lenore Hawkins, thank you so much for bringing us the latest from Italy. Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.